Access.
Hello. Today I am here with Pearl, and we are going to kind of talk about some things we've been discussing today about um, being new on YouTube. I guess, um, I'm new on YouTube, obviously. I've just been referred by Kim from Intuitive, and thank you very much, Kim. I'm very grateful.
Thank you.
Um, and and Pearl is new, and I think that it's worthy to explain some things to you. Pearl and I came together because I did a reading for Pearl. Um, I'm a very sensitive soul, and I am capable of reading people and understanding what their ancestors or their deceased loved ones might be saying to me. And spirit is always looking to knock on our door and help us move forward to transition in a good way if we're ready. And a good deal of my life has been, I would say, chronic transition. So I think I say that, and I'm going to laugh at myself because if you saw where I started and where I'm at today, you would understand that the nature of that is pretty funny. But anyway, and Pearl and I are talking about, for those of you who are readers out there and who've been readers, maybe you've experienced this and maybe you haven't. But for those of us who are new, and particularly Pearl in her very first appearance on camera, where she actually threw cards, that was like a moment of clarity where, oh my goodness, I'm actually going to provide people with information. Is it going to be correct? Oh my goodness. And I think that what I want to say about this to all of you, Pearl has been going through some pretty major things, and we all have self doubt. And one of the things that I think brought Pearl and I together, and why her reading was so moving for me, and actually as well moving for her, um, was because on a very primal level we related to each other, because we didn't have we didn't start out with self-esteem. We didn't start out with situations where we were a priority, and we find ourselves many years later, as we evolve as humans, asking what really is my worth, and do I have any worth. And I think that when you are then face this question to yourself, and then you decide, okay, I have enough worth, I'm going to come forward and I'm going to help others. That's Chiron, the wounded healer, and of course that's something that I'm very much into, and that is also something Pearl has in spades. um, and what's beautiful is that although Pearl is just beginning the journey of learning to read, we all have this gift. And now Pearl doesn't let me get away with some things, and I'm going to just say, and I'm grateful to her. I have been chronically, I'm sick. I have major medical issues, and part of the reason I'm sick is because how I've adapted over many years of being maybe feeling invisible, not feeling good enough, feeling unworthy, how it kind of adjusted and manifested in my life, me being invisible, is that it affected my self worth. And as the cancer welled up, and I had to start maybe asking myself those deep Plutonian questions, what really is bothering me, and why is it bothering me, and what can I do to solve my problems? Okay. And so Pearl, in her own right, has some medical issues, and I'm asking spirit in a lot of ways right now. What is it, spirit? What is it? Because I'm not the only person that's sick. There's a lot of people that are sick. I mean, it's just happening everywhere. And but in my vulnerability, I want to reach out, and I want you to be well. I want me to be well. And yet we live in times where our perspective, it's so hard to be well because people are so angry. They're angry at what? I don't know. An example of that anger, with how it manifests on a regular basis, is where I work. I'm involved in an event on a Saturday, and a person came up to me and basically assaulted me emotionally because I was wearing a mask and they were not. And I explained that I'm medically sensitive right now. I'm a high risk group, and that although you're choosing not to take in this situation and feel its gravity, that is not my position. And I think that we are living in a world that largely has forgotten how to be kind. We've forgotten how to treat each other with respect and kindness. And so today, I'm going to ask for a message, not just for myself, but for all the readers, and especially the new readers, because I know how hard this is. It is hard when you first do a YouTube video. Is anybody going to want to listen to it? Is it worth anything? Does what I say even matter? I mean, I mean, it's all the above. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Spirit. I'm going to take the spellcaster deck, okay, and I am going to just go ahead and ask the cards to tell us, to give us a message that provides us information about this process, because I feel like it's really important, especially right now, to get out the truth, whatever the truth might be. That people like myself and Pearl and any number of other people, that we stand in our power and we start telling our truths. That is how we're going to get to the bottom of what we need to know and what's best for us going forward. So with that, I'm asking Spirit to provide us with a message today, going forward, as readers, as people that we're vulnerable. We're coming out, we're saying, hi, I got something to tell you, and maybe you believe me, maybe you don't. So I am going to go ahead and spellcaster deck, and I'm going to select 14. And again, you guys don't know this, but Pearl has eyeballs that direct my fingers, and it is really kind of sweet and fun, and it does add to the reading. And you guys, I mean, where two or more are gathered in my name, I'm present. And we were talking today about the Bible, and it is relevant. It is relevant. Because we read tarot doesn't mean we've lost sight of who we are. And, people who think we've lost sight of who we are maybe need to think again, because we haven't. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, Pearl. 12, 13, 14. All right, there we go. Those eyeballs. All right. We are all connected, folks. We really are. We are all connected, and how we deal with each other. Oh, and the bottom of the pack. Moving on to calmer waters as we go forward. It's going to get easier. And we did talk about that, that you watch these videos and you sort of figure out, oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm doing. And for those of you who've been doing the podcasting for a while, boy, oh boy, my hat's off to you. I didn't realize the learning curve was so steep.
Exactly.
Okay, so where it starts out as readers, this is our card, the star, and this is also the USA card, but those of us bringing something from on high, that divination, that skill, that light from our third eye. It's being crossed by justice. And what do I think about that? Well, I think that, like we all do, we want to do the right thing in life. We always want to do the right thing. And in some ways, we are told that tarot is something that isn't from on high. But I'm suspecting that that was said to us as a means from keeping us from knowing ourselves.
Exactly.
So, in that sense, this justice card crossing the star card is almost an enhancement that it is justice to bring forward this type of information
Yep.
to the collective.
Yep.
And nice. Okay, and in the above position, past, we get the Page of Pentacles. People kind of starting out, and I think that a couple of years ago, I know that there's readers that have been out there for longer, 2 or 3 years, but I think largely when this political cycle started, a lot of people, myself included, almost as soon as it started, I mean, I was looking for anywhere, everywhere to find comfort, and I certainly couldn't turn on the television set, and I just couldn't hardly stand to listen or read in the media, because largely what I was hearing was that there is something new, and I didn't feel comfortable with it. So, and I think that that's largely, and I think what it has created is, for those of us who are readers, and it started out slow. There's even still, there's not really, in my opinion, that many readers on YouTube. There's a number of them, but there's not really that many. Okay.
Right.
There's a few. Okay, and right now, the readers that are out there, you can see that they're carrying a very heavy load. I mean, right? They're especially the political readers. I mean, and I'm trying to learn to put my card in the middle of my camera or somewhere therein so it doesn't look silly. But the readers that they have been carrying this really heavy load, and for those of you who have done these political readings, I am, you've been my road forward. You've helped me, over and over again, to kind of understand what doesn't make any sense, what isn't sensible at this time. In the below position, the King of Cups, that in the past, how we've known things to be was very, very different. And so, of course, because the collective has changed so much, that collective energy and that King of Cups holding that trident, it has been, in that sense, become more developed, that intuitive sense, that deep connected knowing.
I think with all the events going on, it's making people have to stop and take time to go inside. And that's driving some people a little crazy, and others are kind of just starting to accept it. So I do believe that we're going to get a lot more readers on YouTube eventually.
Right. So we're having to be reflective right now, because we're having to go internal to do the work. And what's interesting about that is that a lot of us, and I'm going to do an astrology event chart on this, is that we were raised by parents who were largely disassociated.
Yes.
There's a good number of us. Now, there's a lot of people in my age group as well that's not their story. But in my case, and in Pearl's case, that is our story, that we were raised by people who were clearly not interested. But let's stay with what we're doing. So the readers currently have a very heavy load that they've been carrying, bringing forward the information in terms of political readings. And that I know, because I'm almost unwilling to go there, because I just feel like it's kind of gross, the level of it, and it has caused, there is some, I will say, reflection, retreat, but this is like an earth-based type of reflection and retreat. And we needed to kind of step back, and
Mhm.
we did need to kind of consider. And there we go. Pearl's reading the cards, and she hasn't even seen them. But we did need to step back, and we did need to retreat. And this is in our near future that we're in this Earth cycle, this retreat cycle. And now that's interesting because we did have that earthquake the other day, and I was gonna do a video on that, and then I just kind of decided, well, we discussed it, and we just decided we were going to kind of get into this being new and being vulnerable and real about how it feels to us to come on board and have our story and know we have something to give, but how do we get in our lane and how do we make that work? And so this video is for all readers everywhere, especially if you're coming on board, but all readers everywhere, because we are all doing this work, and we are trying to figure it out, and we are being told things. Our television sets are big blue liars. Okay.
Right.
So here we go. And we got a King of Wands, and this natural setting with the earth, and in doing so, we are provided light. We are provided that fire, that information, that knowing. So trust yourself, believe in yourself. Yes, it is hard to do because, in a way, what we're doing is we're asking people to believe our ridiculous nonsense because that's what we've been told. Having an imagination, seeing things past what we normally would, looks like to people. Using your imagination to people looks like playing house. But in fact, what it really is it's opening yourself up to the divine. And that's a different type of house, folks. It's different. And we get for us right now, there's several spilt cups and there's a lot of blood on the ground. But are all the cups spilt? No, they're not. And it's that remaining cup. The hope. Right. Even in these dark, bitter, and dreary times,
there's always hope.
There's hope. And I like this saying, and I think it's valid, and it's so important to think about now. Change your mind, change your life.
Truth.
Think differently.
Yes. And
get differently. A lot of times where we're at is our own doing. It's our own perception of ourselves.
It's self-sabotage.
Right. And who I was yesterday no longer exists. Today I'm brand new. Yes. Never forget that. In our hopes and fears position, now this card, you want to look at this card and say, oh my goodness, a heavy load is coming in. This card I'm going to say is actually, I'm going to call this the good news card.
Yeah, I was going to say yes. It was more, I see more good news than bad.
Right, because lots of new things are going to be developing. Yes. Lots of new things are coming. These wands have many sprouts on them. This is an 8 of wands. What it's saying to us as readers, all readers, do your work. Yes. Get your structure in place.
You can do it.
As you get your structure in place, things sprout and change and develop. Yes. And again, that's change your mind, change your life. Now, myself, how I've chosen during this time of lockdown and COVID is that I signed up for a master's class on astrology because I'll be darned if I'm going to sit around and cry over something I have no control over. And I am not going to get caught up in the web. In our conclusion position, we've got the 4 of Pentacles. For people that do this work, it is the structure of how they receive their coin. Yes. And it can be for a person. Now, myself, I do readings, and I'm more deeply interested in doing the astrology type readings. And as I said, I'm working on events, and astrology takes quite a bit of research. So, you're not going to see me on here every day, or as often doing an astrology reading because it takes considerable time to do it and to do it correctly. and I do Vedic sidereal astrology, that's Indian astrology, that for instance, even predicted this pandemic that we're in, which I found fairly remarkable. And because I want to, awesome. It is awesome, and because I want to be authentic, and I, like Pearl, I can so appreciate this. I don't want to come and do readings and be voodoo witchcraft weirdo. Okay, what I want to do is I want to bring readings that are helpful to humanity. Okay, because humanity's in a crisis. Quite frankly, we're in a crisis, and we need a way forward. And what we're being told is really not helpful. And I think this is why, in this sense, we're going to see this. We see this card that, right now, there's a lot of heartbreak out there. I think that the way we talk to each other, the way we have interacted politically, that heartbreak would be the very minimal that I would say that we're experiencing right now. And in so many ways, the divine wants us to look at this and to do something about it, to not just continuously sweep it under the rug. And here we go. There it is. There it is again, the Temperance card, pouring from one thing to the next to bring balance back. So yes, us readers, we're about bringing some balance back in a process that is out of balance. The information that's out there in so many ways is not designed to help us to feel comfortable. It's designed to create fear,
illusion,
and delusion.
Yeah.
And aloneness is an illusion. I'm a drop of water. You're a drop of water. So on and so forth. And if you look at a body of water, if you can tell one drop from the next, you got some special eyeballs I don't have.
Yeah, you show me how.
I want to know about that. And as readers, we are going to experience rapid transformation.
Oh, yes.
And one of the reasons that I am doing my astrology, and again, why I'm taking my time to just come out and offer it, I've been studying tarot now for some years. So, for me to sit down and read tarot, I feel like I can do that. And I feel like I can offer a dignified, honest reading. My karma's on the line. This is about my karma. I'm the monkey on this wheel.
Right.
And I wanted to be honest and clear and to the point. Yes. It isn't about my ego. Nope. And if it becomes about my ego, then it's perhaps not right. But for me at this time, and for Pearl, we are injured. We're monkeys on the wheel.
Yes.
and we're trying to learn to dance. Yes. Okay, on the wheel. And and why the readers, and this is interesting. We had a lot of arcana in this, and not to be disappointed, the last card is going to be a major arcana. And arcana is always going to kind of set the tempo of your read. We've got the Emperor. Why tarot card readers? Why? Well, because of oppression.
Yes, it's information that has been stolen from us, basically.
We've got the Emperor here, and the Emperor is here to tell us, yeah, if you read tarot, you might have a little problem when it comes up to your day of reckoning. So, and I'm here to tell you that just isn't true. It's not fair. It's, I think that people who do this work were probably some of the more beautiful souls that exist on this planet.
Exactly.
And I'm going to stand in my power and claim that, because I believe that's true. A lot, especially, the readers that have spent the last 3 years, almost 4 years, providing us the 411 on this political cycle that has been absolutely terrifying. I am in gratitude to you. Thank you. You have provided us something that I hope that you don't have to provide for another 4 years. So with that, I would like for you to hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and to please join Pearl and I on www.twiggy.com, TWIGGIE. And, here you go. If you're a new reader, you know, hit the like, share, and subscribe and join us. We are equal opportunity. I believe that Spirit gives all of us gifts, and that some people can, seem like, yeah, mine are special and yours are not. That's not ever going to be the truth, folks. That's never true. No one's gifts are more special than yours. And what you bring to this planet is what this planet needs at this time, or you would not be here. So, with that, thank you very much for joining us here today.